I hope you're having a beautiful, fantastic, productive day. I hope you've been enjoying the spring. I hope you've been making lots of plans. I hope you've had time to spread joy and to have joy of your own. So, there was this game back in the 90s. I don't really know when it came out, but I do remember in the 90s it was really popular, and it was called The Game of Life. I remember thinking, one, it was a hard game because I was a lot younger back then. Two, I thought that because it was hard, it wasn't fun. And then three, once I began to appreciate the game for what it was, I thought, well, how could this board game possibly encompass the intricacies of life? Like, that's, I remember thinking, these designers, I think really highly of themselves, don't they? But okay, let's go with it. Let's see. And I remember being annoyed. Even as a child, I somehow managed to be annoyed with the decisions that I was presented in that game. And like, for example, are you gonna go to college? How many kids are you gonna have? Are you gonna buy a house? Are you gonna rent? And all this la-di-da-di-da. And I remember having different mindsets when I would play the game. And I remember actually at the beginning of the game, you kind of have to make some decisions. And I remember playing the games on different occasions and intentionally thinking, I'm going to play this game completely opposite of how I played it last time and see what happens. And then I remember thinking, I'm going to play this game with the instant gratification mindset and see what happens. But of course, as a child, you don't know that language to say, oh, this is an instant gratification mindset. But anyway, that's what I had, knowingly or not, as to how to identify it in the English language. And then sometimes I would go in with it and I would go like, oh, I'm gonna be strategic. I'm gonna have like this start where I invest in myself and then I see where it goes, and maybe it'll be like a challenge in the beginning, but I will get a return on my investment. And what better investment is it to invest in yourself? And who's gonna invest in you if you don't do it? So I would be like, okay, this is a game. Oh, okay, so just a little reflection. Investing in yourself and how that is defined, you have to define that differently. Everybody has to define that differently, because if you don't take the time to define what investing on yourself means, then once you get the return, you may or may not appreciate it. So sometimes when we look at social media, there's a lot of glitz and glamour and all that shiz and niz. Ever heard of pyrite? Well, what glitters is not always gold. Anyway, so what you invest in, how meaningful is that to you when you get that return? Do you just want it because it's in your face and it's being presented as something desirable, something that reaffirms your identity? Or does it really help reaffirm your purpose and your mission and your objective in life. How we present ourselves is something that is very easily marketed. A lot of companies spend a lot of time convincing us of how we should represent ourselves because of the... Oh my goodness, this guy needs a muffler. His motorcycle is so loud. Oh my gosh, maybe he bought a special muffler so his motorcycle would be loud, because his objective is to be noticed in life. Who knows? But, so these companies, if you can convince somebody that the product that you have developed is something that they need, and not only need right now, it's something that they needed in the past and something that they will also need in the future. How I perceive it, I see that as, like, on some level, manipulation. But anyway, that's something that can be encompassed into their self-identity. And so what I'm getting at is that don't be distracted by material things, because the objective with material things is monetary gain, as far as the external monetary gain, and not monetary gain or even spiritual or life experience gain on your part. Like, I have seen that life is... What I'm trying to say is your self-identity and your self-perception of who you see yourself as right now and in the future can never be commodified, because one, that requires a lot of time with God. It's like how he defined you, how he sees you, how he designed you. A lot of people don't know who they are. They just don't know. And that's partially because they haven't spent time with God. He knows who you are because he created you. And because people don't know who they are, they don't know who they are not. I was having a time and I was like, oh, well, maybe this is the path for me. And I was in the park and the wind started to blow. And I was annoyed because it was a gusty wind. It was a wind with a mission. And I wasn't prepared for that. It just came out of nowhere. And when the wind started to blow, it turned some pages. And it turned some pages to a Bible verse that... It just turned the pages. And so I read the Bible verse and I was really perplexed, because the Bible verse kind of fit exactly what I was experiencing. And then I just kind of made a mental note of it and I just continued about my day. But in that moment, I saw... that moment was God's hand turning the page to what would be helpful for me at that time. And it's amazing how he speaks. I don't even know how to explain. A lot of times people, they pray. They pray for different reasons. And one of those reasons why we pray is because we need something. And sometimes when we need something, we forget that we also need to ask what we need to do first. And if you do ask with an open mind and an open heart, more often than not, God will respond. And in my life, He responds very quickly. And if He doesn't respond quickly, it's because you're not ready. You're not ready for the answer. Okay? It's just like a life sometimes, it's like a game. Okay? You have these different levels you have to get to. You can't skip level 3 and get to level 5 because there's something you still, because what you learn on level 3 is going to help you when you get to level 5. The objective of level 3 is to prepare you to experience what you need to experience, so that you can take that and apply it to the next level. So then you are ready for level 5 and what you can gain there. And once you get to level 5, imagine this. Level 5, it might not even be about you. It might be about somebody else. Or maybe multiple people. Imagine that. Imagine your focus not being entirely on yourself, but on other people. And you might not even know these people. And these people might not even want to talk to you. They might not like you. But for some reason, you don't even know why you're supposed to talk to them anyway. Welcome to level 5. So, like, when you play video games, I'm going back to the video game thing. Yes, I am. So when you play video games, the level gets harder. The circumstances, they become a little unexpected. The people, and they change, or maybe you see them for who they are. You may not know who people are, because half the time they don't know who they are. But anyway, you won't always know who a person is, but that's okay, as long as you know who you are. Yeah. Know who you are. Know who you are. Just like where they say you can't control what other people do, you can know who you are, and you can leverage that. And one vital, critical step in knowing who you are is not judging yourself, or if you do judge yourself, be forgiving. Like Judge Judy, if you've ever seen her, she can be blunt. But there were some rare circumstances where she was blunt, but she was also understanding. And so be understanding with yourself and forgiving. Because to understand doesn't automatically equal forgiveness. And it is important to forgive yourself, because it is so difficult to get forgiveness from other people. So you don't know if you're ever going to be forgiven by other people. You don't know. But what you can do as a gift to yourself is forgive yourself. Anyway, okay, so this video is not about forgiveness. It's about learning. That is what this video is really about. And you can learn something but not apply it. Don't do that, because it's counterproductive. It is a waste of time. People they wanna know how to travel in time. You know, if you look at all those sci-fi films, but the best way to travel in time is to travel in your experience, in your knowledge. The faster you can learn, the more use you can make with time. It's kind of like supply and demand. Technology is like knowledge in the fact that it completely shifts the entire graph with supply and demand. So when I say that technology shifts the entire graph, what I mean is technology makes things possible that literally was not possible before, at least in that time frame and in those certain conditions. And the same thing applies with experience. An experience will shift the entire graph and make things possible that previously were impossible. At least in that given time frame and given those tools that were at hand at that time. Okay? Now think about that. And think about what that means for you in your life. People think that experience has to be gained over a certain amount of time. I do believe that experience can also be observed. It can be observed through books and in movies and interactions with people. If you are really and truly open-minded and really want to learn, you can learn from other people's experiences and in that way gain your own experience and in that way shift your timeline for whatever you're trying to achieve in life. So anyway, I didn't list all the ways to gain experience, obviously. So please tell me, how do you gain experience and how do you apply it to your life to save yourself time, energy, and effort? Please share in the comments so someone else can benefit from your knowledge. One of the biggest wastes of time, I will say it, I'll flat out say it, social media. Because there's so many distractions. Social media is so helpful, but it's also full of so many distractions. And it's full of distractions because of the corruption. And that's a whole conversation right there. Because there's all kinds of different types of corruption. Don't get me started. So be wary of social media. Be wary of anything that is demanding, whether that is a person, place of thing, because anything that is demanding is also control. And anything controlling seeks to monopolize. The only way to monopolize is to take from something else. You know, take from some other area of your life. Life is beautiful, and it's beautiful in a balanced way. Is how God designed it. So be wary. Just be alert. Be aware. When I was a lot younger, there was a plethora of beauty YouTube channels. It was so saturated back then. I remember that. And I guess I hadn't gotten to that maturity level at that point, but like, and this is for you men too, I'm gonna say it. Beauty comes from within, and there's so many distractions in life to make us think that beauty starts externally. And okay, so how does this apply as a man? Maybe a nice car, a beautiful Corvette with a shiny paint job, okay? It could be a yacht. I don't know. Whatever you guys like to tinker with. These physical distractions are just that. They are physical distractions. And let me tell you, they can be burnt up in a fire in a blink of an eye, or flooded out, or tornado. I talk to people every day, and their whole life can change in the blink of an eye. But at the end of it all, at the end of the conversation, you figure out what matters most to you. I can tell you what matters most to me. With life, with the game of life, you have to prepare for what is unexpected. And at some point in life, there will come a time where, even for the shortest period of time, there will come a time when all you have is yourself. And hopefully, you pray to God, because He's always listening, and He's always hopeful, because God is love, and love is patient, love is kind. And in the game of life, sometimes it can really, really seem like you're losing, even when you are not. Okay, to my teenagers, spoiler alert. Not everybody that is quote unquote an adult has it figured out. Don't take your advice all from one person. Don't take your advice all in one. Don't take your advice all from one medium. Okay, when I say that, don't just take it from one type of source. Like, diversify. Books, movies, real life, songs have a lot of meaning. Okay, and question yourself, but don't be hard on yourself either. Just because you question yourself, don't be hard on yourself. Okay, and you do whatever you have to do to pump yourself up, and you give yourself that self-esteem. Okay, because your self-esteem is an asset. And I know it's scary, and I know this question is just it's such a weird question. What is your 5-year plan? Okay. I know guys, but make the 5-year plan. It's okay if plans change. I think I've mentioned this before. Just make the plan, because if you don't make the plan, then somebody else will make it for you. And the plan that you have for yourself is never, like, nothing competes with that except for God's plan. Okay? If somebody else is making a plan for you, you best believe you are not going to be the star. You're not going to be the focal point. You are not going to be the most important part of whatever plan they orchestrate for you. So you make your own plan. Okay, it's okay. If making a plan is something you don't want to do right now, make an image. And if you don't want to make the image yourself, that's okay too. Steal the image from somebody else. Google it. Imagine it. And then just apply it. Okay? Even if it's just a snapshot of one day. Like just a fancy hotel. Get that picture of that fancy dancy hotel. Now, a picture is only good if you can see it, okay? So take that image, make it a screensaver on your phone, on your tablet, on your whatever, on your Ray-Ban glasses from Facebook, even though I hate Mark Zuckerberg. Whatever you gotta do, just put that image and make it an imprint for your mind, because that imprint is motivation. Motivation is food for your heart and your soul. And motivation is different for different people. Just you've got to ask yourself these questions. What motivates you? And yeah, period. Okay, people get frustrated. They think they're supposed to have the answers right away. If it takes you a week to figure out what motivates you, cool. If it takes you a month, cool. If it takes you a year, cool. Just figure it out. Outside the box all the time. Maybe you're not in a box. Maybe you're in a Rubik's Cube. Okay, to my people that are not teenagers, I don't know how old you are. I really don't care. All I know is, and all I care about, is that life continuously is so surprising. And that means, since we are a part of life, we have the ability to be surprising. It's just to surprise ourselves, to look. You can do more than what you think you can if you just believe. Just believe it. How hard is that? To believe. To look back on your life and see all that you've accomplished, and to say, I believe I can accomplish even more. And maybe along the way, I can inspire people. I can help people to see what is inside of them. Okay, I'm going back to teenagers. Another way to gain insight on just how the world works and life in general and interacting with people is documentaries and what do you call those? Memoirs and biographies. And I talk to a lot of people and they have this tone to their voice, and it's almost as if they feel like their life is in a sense over because they've already hit the main points. But who told them? Who did God say that? Did God say you've already hit the high points? There's nothing left? No. No, I don't think he has said that to anyone. Otherwise, the breath of life. If nothing else from this video, my overall message continues to be, you can do more than what you recognize. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Very few times in your life will people tell you what you can do in a positive framework. So that means you have to do that for yourself. And even if people do tell you in a positive tone, word choice, whatever, at the right time, they don't always nail it. They don't cover all the points. So, but that's not like a fault of themselves. They are giving you what you need to make it your own. And through prayer, you can make it what God intended it to be. and to actualize into what He has designed you to be. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And yes, you will. And even if you don't know what that will or what that can is, you can just make it a blanket statement. Yes, you can. Yes, you will succeed. Yes, you can. Yes, you will persevere. Yes, you can. Yes, you will move. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are not your past. You are rewriting your future. You are rewriting your future now. And it's not written in stone. God gives us free will. When people feel defeated. People feel defeated when they feel as if they have no option and when they have no control. But what I am here to tell you is you always have options. You always have control as long as you have the breath of life within you. Yes, you can. Yes, you will. And just be optimistic, persevere. Always look for the silver lining because it is there. Because God is always there. Have a beautiful day. Stay optimistic. Stay persistent. Stay diligent. Stay organized. Stay task oriented. Stay in your faith, in your hope. Don't forget your dreams. Be kind. Be forgiving. And make plans for yourself. I adore you. I truly hope that this has helped someone. I know that it will help someone. I will talk to you soon.